definition of what is CPR. It is a cardiopulmonary resuscitation. This is abbreviated as CPR. C stands for cardio, P stands for pulmonary, and R stands for resuscitation. This is a very exciting honor and very interesting honor. So please stay put and just listen, and you will learn a lot of things out from this honor that I'm going to teach you. Now, CPR have 6 requirements to do. So the first requirement that we have is to successfully complete a class sponsored by either the American Heart Association or the American Red Cross or an equivalent under a certified instructor in order to properly learn and demonstrate one person CPR. So this must be done within the past 12 months. So in order for you to complete this honor, you have to attend a sponsored training from American Heart Association or American Red Cross. I know you have other training institutions that are offering this training in your country, so you just have to find them. I have put there 2 websites that you can search and inquire for that particular training. So this evening, I will be talking only about theory on how we can do this CPR. The skill itself, the demonstration itself will be learned when you take a training, a proper training from the American Heart Association or from American Red Cross or from other institutions that are offering this training in your area. All right, so number 2 requirement is to know and understand the location and function of the heart and lungs. So I know this is quite complicated, but I have tried my best to simplify things here. I don't want to use medical terms. I want everyone to understand according to the level of your understanding. All right, so location of the heart and lungs. Okay, try to look at your chest area. The heart and lungs fills the upper chest cavity. Okay, so when you see the picture there, you will see both lungs on the right and left side, and these vital organs are protected by the rib cage and sternum. Okay, so the heart is at the center of both lungs, as you can see on the picture. Okay, so I have one picture here that portrays how our lungs and heart are protected by our rib cage and the sternum. So it is very important to know this location, especially the sternum, because it is where the exact area that you will do the compression, the chest compression. All right, so this is the sternum here, in which you will place your hands in doing the compression, chest compressions. Okay, so you know now the location of the heart and lungs exactly. Okay, this is very important. Okay, functions of heart and lungs. Very simple. I will not go so much into details because we only have 1 hour to do this. Okay, the lungs get oxygen from inhaled air and inject it into the blood that comes from the heart. All right, so our lungs is responsible of taking air from the atmosphere. Okay, it goes to the lungs, and then the lungs will just filter and get the oxygen only. Remember that the air in the atmosphere is not purely oxygen. It is mixed with some other elements. So the air, I mean the lungs, will only filter the oxygen, and it is already called oxygenated blood. All right, it will mix with the blood, and it is already called oxygenated blood. Okay, this oxygenated blood will go back to the heart, and then the heart pumps oxygenated blood to the rest of the body. Okay, very simple. So why we are telling you this one? So that you will know the importance of why we are going to do the chest compression. Okay, chest compressions will facilitate the circulation of the blood when the heart stops beating. All right. So chest compression facilitates the circulation of the blood when the heart stops pumping blood to our body. So see now how important CPR is. Okay, so let us try to define CPR in your third requirement and tell what are those 5 conditions under which it could be used. So again, CPR, cardiopulmonary resuscitation. This is an emergency life-saving procedure. So life-saving procedure. Very important. Perform when the heart stops beating. Okay, this is only performed when the heart stops beating. It is an emergency life-saving procedure performed when the heart stops beating. Later we will find how you will know that when the heart stops beating. So CPR is a combination of chest compressions. You will compress the chest on the area, on the sternum area, and it is combined with an artificial ventilation or breathing, artificial breathing. So in your first aid training, you will undergo how to do this one. You will give 30 compressions and 2 breathing. That's the cycle there. One cycle is 30 compressions, chest compressions, and 2 artificial breathing. So that's how you will do the CPR, resuscitating the heart and lungs when it stops working. All right, so let me know if I am too fast so that I can slow down. Pastor?
No, you're doing very good. Thank you so much. Thank you.
So let us watch a video demonstrating how this is being done so that you will have an idea on how CPR is being done to the actual victim. Okay, so this one, the lady is using a dummy, but definitely this will be the skill that you need to learn when you do the CPR. Okay, so let's have the video and watch.
You arrive on the scene. Check the scene for safety. Check the victim for consciousness. Gently tap their shoulder and shout.
Are you okay? Are you okay?
If no response, call 911 immediately.
You, call 911.
If the adult is lying on their stomach, turn them over into their back. They should be lying on a hard, flat surface.
And
check for breathing and signs
that's
of
all
life.
we want to learn from
Watch
here.
their chest for any normal movement. Look for signs of life and breathing for no more than 10 seconds. No breathing or signs of life, begin CPR. Position the heel of one hand on the center of the adult's chest. Place your other hand on top. With your elbows locked and arms straight, lean over the adult's chest and compress the chest 2 inches in depth, 30 times.
1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7
so
and 8
30
and 9
counts,
and 10 and 11
30
and 12,
compressions.
13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30.
After 30 compressions, give breaths. Give breaths by tilting the head back, lifting the chin, and pinching the nose. Place your mouth over theirs and give 2 slow, gentle breaths, just enough to make their chest rise. Continue with 30 compressions and 2 breaths.
All right, so that is your first cycle of CPR. That is your first cycle of CPR. You have done 30 compressions and 2 artificial breathing.
1 and 2 and 3
another
and 4
cycle.
and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 and 9 and 10 and 11 and 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30.
Continue CPR until you see signs of life, another rescuer takes over, or help arrives.
All right, so your cycle starts when you start the compression and ends when you have given the 2 breath. All right, artificial breathing. Okay, so that is CPR. That is basically what we are doing when you are resuscitating the patient's heart and lungs. Okay, so when is CPR started? Okay, it begins right after confirming that the victim has no pulse and no breathing. Again, I would like to emphasize this one. CPR is started right after confirming that the victim has no pulse and no breathing. You cannot start CPR, you cannot start, never start a CPR, never start a compression when there is pulse and when a person is breathing. Sometimes you will just find some people collapse, and then you will just immediately, bystanders just immediately compress the chest, and that would be the reason they will die. Not because of having heart attack, but they died because the bystander just started CPR without checking the pulse and breathing. So never start CPR when you are not confirmed that the patient doesn't have pulse and breathing. Okay, very important. Now, how do we check for the carotid pulse and breathing? In order for you to start your CPR, you need to know that the patient has negative pulse and negative breathing. So let us try to learn how to check the carotid pulse. Carotid pulse is located in our neck, both sides of our neck. Okay, so first procedure is to extend the neck. So as you can see in the picture, you will use your index finger and middle finger to extend the neck by holding up the chin. All right, and use the other index and middle fingers in the groove on one side of the neck only. So this one here, this is the fingers, the index fingers and the middle fingers checking for the carotid pulse on the side, on the groove on one side of the neck. Is it clear? All right. Check for breathing by looking at the rise and fall of the chest. Check for breathing by looking at the rise and fall of the chest. When you breathe, when you look at your chest, when you breathe, it is rising and falling, right? It is rising and falling, rising and falling. So by checking the breathing pattern of the victim is to check the chest area if it is rising and falling. And then very important is to check for pulse and breathing at the same time. Check for pulse and breathing at the same time. Remember that you only have to do this not more than 10 seconds. You only have to do this not more than 10 seconds. Time is very precious when you are saving an individual who is in cardiac arrest, who is in heart stroke. All right, when you missed 4 minutes of doing that, there will be an initial damage of the brain. In 4 minutes, there will be an initial damage of the brain, and that would be irreversible. You can no longer change it. Okay, and by the way, checking for pulse is not recommended for lay rescuers like you guys. Otherwise, if we have some, unless if we have some medical audience here, this is their expertise of checking the carotid pulse. But for us, lay rescuers, it would be difficult. So it is often difficult to check the carotid pulse for non-professionals. So for this reason, it is recommended to look for signs such as coughing. So when you happen to see a person not responding, all right, you check if the person is coughing or not. You check if the person is having normal breathing pattern. How to check for the normal breathing pattern is to check the rise and fall of the chest. And then check for any movement or response to pain stimulus. And that's how you will know if the person is still having responses. When the person is still having responses, meaning to say the heart is still beating, the pulse is still pulsating. So you don't need to start CPR. Okay? So pain stimulus, how you will introduce pain stimulus? You can pinch the victim to his chest, try to pinch or try to don't slap the face. It's not good to see. So just try to give a pain stimulus in order for you to know if the patient is still responding or not. When these things are not observed on the victim, then it is safe for you to say that the patient doesn't have pulse anymore, the patient is not breathing anymore, and then you can right away start your procedure, which is the CPR. Okay, checking for pulse would waste valuable time to resuscitate the heart. So it's not good that we have wasted precious time just to check for the carotid pulse, and we have missed the important work to do, which is the compression of the chest. Remember that compressing the chest, it will facilitate the circulation of the blood all throughout your body. Okay, now let us try to know also what are those conditions under which it would be used. When are those incidents that CPR can be used? Number one, accident is electrocution. I have met a lot of patients who had been electrocuted and they will collapse. Remember that when you are electrocuted, there is a strong electricity power that will go to your heart, and it will just make your heart stop beating. So that's where you will come in and start your CPR. Another incident, drowning. Again, Dubai is full of beaches, and a lot of people also doesn't know how to swim. They just swim. Sometimes you will see drunk people swimming, and they will end up drowning. When you are drowned, your lungs will be filled with water that it can no longer expand, and that makes your lungs collapse, and thereby also your heart will collapse, will stop beating. So this is one common case of why you will do CPR. Another one is heart attack. Heart attack, when someone has heart problems, and usually heart attack always comes early in the morning when the victim just woke up and got up from bed, and they will suffer heart attack. So that's where you will do also CPR. Another one is choking. Choking blocks the trachea, and the patient cannot breathe, and it will also collapse the lungs. When the lungs is unable to inhale oxygen, the lungs will just collapse, and then also the heart will follow. So choking is one of common incidents why you will do CPR to patients. And another one is shock. We have different types of shock. We have hypovolemic shock. We have neurogenic shock. But all common shocks will lead to heart attack, and thereby you will also do CPR for them. Okay, the next requirement under CPR Honour is understand prudent heart living, and we will list 5 things that the person can do to maintain a healthy heart. So prepare to list all these 5 things that we can do in order for us to maintain a healthy heart. But let us understand first, what is prudent heart living? So remember that our heart is a very precious, vital organ in our body. It is the organ that feels to love. It is the organ that feels our emotions, and it is the organ definitely that pumps life, that pumps blood all throughout our body. So as defined by the American Heart Association, it is a lifestyle which is sorry. It is a lifestyle which minimizes the risk of heart disease. So prudent heart living is minimizing the risk of heart disease. And the other one is eliminating the risk factors that affects the heart condition of the health condition of the heart. So let us try to eliminate those risk factors that affects the health condition of the heart. What are those risk factors that is affecting the health condition of our healthy heart? Okay, so number one is what? Smoking. This habit really is bad for your health, especially to your heart. It increases the risk of heart attack by 2 to 6 times. So we used to ask the patient, those who are having chest pain, are you smoking? So when we know that they're smoking, the chances of having heart attack is increased by 2 to 6 times than those person who are not smoking. So significant percentage of all cardiovascular disease, cardiovascular meaning it refers to our heart and the blood vessels of the heart. So there are significant percentage of all cardiovascular disease is related to smoking. Why? Because this most of the elements of the cigarette is not good to our arteries, our veins, our blood vessels. It will constrict our blood vessels. It will clot. It will block important arteries in our body, and it will lead to heart attack. All right. So the best thing to do is, of course, what? Don't smoke. Don't smoke. If you have not started, don't try it. And if you have started it already, like once a day, twice a day, or and if you cannot avoid it anymore, then I guess it's time for you to read about those materials that encourages how to stop smoking. Ask your pastor. They know about materials on how to stop smoking. Okay, the next factor that affects our heart condition, diet. Oh mine, I have just eaten this food. Our diet. What is our diet? What is our regular diet in a day? Are we eating this kind of food? Okay. So what are those heart damaging diet? Those diet that are rich in saturated fats, cholesterol. Fats, you know, cholesterols is only found in animal and animal products only. Sugar and salt, you know, they call this sugar as our daily poison. Every day we are taking sugar, and we just don't know that sugar is a poison. We are just poisoning our body day by day. So just take the daily recommended amount of sugar per day. All right. And fast food diet are very bad for your health. Okay, remember this one. And again, the best advice is to eat more fruits, which is high in vitamin C. A lot of fruits, which is very high in vitamin C. Nuts and vegetables, especially leafy vegetables. They are very good to your health. These are the things that we need to modify in our diet. Next factor that affects heart condition is having poor physical activity. Poor physical activity. So are we all into this kind of lifestyle? Just sitting down, take the remote and turn on whatever technology we have in the house, whatever device we have in the house, especially now that we are locked down in the house. We have nothing to do, just having our gadgets turned on, and this is the kind of lifestyle that we are having for most of us now. And this lifestyle will just contribute so much in our health conditions. We will have obesity, heart diseases, heart attack, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, stroke, or cerebrovascular vascular accident. This will lead to bleeding in our arteries, in our head, in our brain, and metabolic syndrome, metabolic problems, diabetic patients. Okay, so we encounter these problems to those people who have poor physical activity. So our chat room, pastor, is quiet. So if there's any question, they can just put in there, and we will try to answer them. All right. So another factor that affects heart condition, sorry for that. What do we do in order for us to have a healthy lifestyle? Is to do a regular exercise. Sometimes the hardest things to do are the best things for us. It's just hard to go out and exercise, especially here in our country that we are living in. It's summer, and even during early morning, it's already hot, that you cannot just easily go out and have your exercise outside. Though it's hard, but this is the best thing that we can do in order for us to modify our activities during the day. Regular aerobic exercise. So this has to be done outside, running, jogging, or whatsoever things that you can do outside where you can inhale fresh air. So having regular aerobic exercise keeps your heart in good condition, especially that our heart is purely made of muscle. So when you exercise, you are what? Giving a good strength to your heart as well. So thereby eliminating the risk factor of having heart problems. Next is poor water intake. How much water do we drink in a day? Okay, so if you are dehydrated, even the slightest dehydration, your heart has to work harder to pump blood. For what reason? You will increase your heart rate and cause an irregular heartbeat or palpitations. Okay, so when you are dehydrated, your pulse, your heart will just beat faster than the regular beating in 1 full minute. So dehydration also thickens your blood and makes blood vessel walls constrict, which can cause high blood pressure and strain your heart. So if you have poor water intake, your heart tends to work more. Your heart tends to work harder than it used to be. So again, what should we do? Stay hydrated. Drink water, a lot of water every day. Recommended amount of water every day. By how much? How much water do we drink? 6 to 8 glasses. What size of glass do we have in the house? Small glasses of water. So 1 glass is equivalent to 8 ounces or 240 ml. So when you are going to compute these 8 glasses of water a day, that will take you to at least 2 liters of water in a day. And still, that depends on your activity in a day. So when you are sweating a lot, like you are working outside, it's a very hot outside, you tend to lose more fluid in your body. So you have to hydrate. So it doesn't mean that you will only drink 8 glasses. When you are sweating a lot, when you are losing a lot of liquids, you have to drink more than what is required in a day. All right? Another factor that affects our heart condition is stress. Stress. Why? Stress makes our platelets sticky and prone to forming clots that can block the arteries. Now, platelets, to have a little background, platelets is one of the components of our heart, our blood. We have the red blood cells, the white blood cells, and the platelets. This one component of the blood is responsible for clotting, especially when we have a minor cut in some parts of our body. These platelets will go along with the blood and it will just form clots, and then the bleeding will stop. Okay, because platelets will do its work of clotting. But in this case, when you have the stress, when you have high level of stress in your mind, in your body, the platelets will become sticky and it will just form clots everywhere in your body, in your heart, especially in your heart and in your brain. Okay, so stress can also cause arteries to constrict, starving the heart of nourishing blood and triggering chest pain or a heart attack. So it will also constrict our arteries. So it's not good to have stress. And what shall we do? There are few and simple ways to do. Number one is exercise. Again, exercise. It is one of the most important things you can do to combat stress. Go out, take a regular exercise. Consider eating well-balanced diet. Reduce, or as much as possible, avoid caffeine intake. So what are those sources of caffeine? We have coffee, soda, and other drinks. All right, outside they are having caffeine. So this element can cause also stress, can increase the level of our stress. Fourth one, we have spend time with friends and family. Okay, so this will somehow release our stress when we are spending time with friends and family, not just work. All right, and last one is laugh out loud. Okay, smile is the best medicine, but don't laugh when you're alone, huh? Laugh with friends and family. All right. So aside from those 5 factors that we have, there are some other factors that we can find that affects the heart condition. And one of those, we have heredity. But heredity, we have nothing to do about it because it's in your blood. It runs in your blood. So we just have to eliminate some of those risk factors. And gender also, especially for men. Men used to smoke a lot, used to eat a lot compared to women. But nowadays, even women are already smoking, and they also love eating a lot. So those are the factors that affects our heart condition. You just need to have 5 things in order for you to comply your requirements. Okay, the 5th one, develop, maintain, and keep a record of personalized program in exercise, health, and diet habits for 1 month. So how you will be able to comply this requirement? Developing a record of personalized exercise program and diet habits for 1 month. So you can check the physical fitness honor for setting up personalized exercise program. So if you opt to keep this exercise program for 2 months, you will earn the physical fitness honor as well. So what are those personalized program, exercise program? It includes, number one is warming up, warm up. So there are actually 4 exercise program that we can do, and then you will just list them down, and how many minutes you are doing it. You do it in 1 month because that is your requirement. Do it in 1 month, and then you will be able to comply your requirements for this particular item. Okay, warming up. It stretches and warms the muscles, thereby decreasing the likelihood of an injury or heart problems. Okay, remember that our heart is purely muscles, and when you exercise, you warm up, it gives a lot of strength to your heart. But in your exercise program, you have to start warming up first. Okay, I have suffered a bad injury before when I did not warm up, and then I just went directly to a strenuous exercise, and then I had an injury to my leg. So warming up gradually increases the heart rate in preparation for a heavy workout. Okay, so warming up will gradually increase the heart rate. So when you go directly to a heavy workout, your heart will tend to compromise. It will beat fast than it is required to beat. Okay, so by warming up, it will gradually increase the heart rate to prepare for a heavy workout. Okay, B is aerobic exercises. So maybe you will warm up for 10 minutes, and then you can proceed now to your aerobic exercise. Okay, so this is the main part of the program which most benefits of exercise are derived. So it is here that we can get all the benefits of having this exercise program. Any exercises that increases oxygen intake and increases the heart rate past the target rate. So what kind of exercises that can increase the oxygen intake? Jogging, or simply running, brisk walking, biking. You will tend to breathe more fast, so that you will have increased oxygen intake in your body. And this will be performed for at least 20 minutes. Okay, warming up is 10 minutes. Then the main part of the program is 20 minutes, which is your aerobic exercise. Then after having the 20 minutes of aerobic exercise, it is time for you to cool down. Cool down. It allows the heart to gradually slow down. All right. So you may see people suddenly collapse from heavy workout, from heavy exercise, run, and then they just stop immediately, and they will collapse. They will collapse because the heart is not prepared to slow down. So cooling down allows the heart to gradually slow down. Okay, cooling down can be done by what? By walking around for 5 minutes after aerobic exercise. So after biking, get out from your bike, then walk around for 5 minutes, and that will satisfy your cooling down exercise. After cooling down, you can proceed to your calisthenics. So what is this? What can this calisthenics benefit? It builds up muscle strength, which decreases the chance of injury during future aerobic exercises. Okay, the reason why we have uh, injuries, because right after exercise we just relax immediately. So from aerobic exercise you will cool down and then do some calisthenics exercises. So this one will only last for 10 minutes. Okay, so 10 minutes warm up, 20 minutes exercise, 5 minutes cooling down, and 10 minutes calisthenics. So these are the few calisthenics exercises that we can do. These pull-ups, we have chin-ups, dips, jump squats, push-ups, crunches, and etc. And I have put here the website that you can check those other calisthenics that you can do, how they are being performed. All right. Okay, so diet habits. What is our dietary plan? So this can be done also by writing through our pencil and paper or with an online tool such as one provided by the USDA. And you can click this link, choosemyplate.gov, where you can find your dietary plan according to your body weight, according to your activity, daily activities. You can find it there. Okay, last one. Last item in our honor is to learn the significance of the colors and design used on the honor token for this honor. So remember, when you finish the honor, you will receive the badge, you will receive the patch, and the patch is being designed into something. There are colors there which signifies something, and we need to learn those signs and designs, why they are used on that honor badge. Okay, number one is the white color. The person needing CPR is white. It signifies that there is no blood circulation on that victim. So the victim turned white because there is no more blood. The patient is, we can say the patient is already clinically dead. So when the heart stops beating, that's where we can say that the patient is clinically dead. There are some people who have brain dead, but they are not clinically dead. We cannot declare them as dead. Okay, we can only declare a person who is dead, who died when the heart stops beating. Okay, so this white who is lying down in our honor patch signifies a person who will receive the CPR that has no more blood circulation on his body. The second one is the person giving CPR is red. Okay, as you can see, the person giving the CPR is red, signifying a very alive person. Okay, which means a person still have a blood circulation all over his body, and he's the one giving the rescue CPR to the dead patient. The background of purple signifies loyalty or commitment. I just want to clarify this one, Pastor, also, because this one in your conference, it is color blue, I think. So
that's correct. It is in the color. Yeah.
But I assume they have the same. It signifies the same one. So it signifies loyalty or commitment. The border of gold speaks to the value of human life. Okay, so this one, the yellow round, the round gold color there speaks to the value of human life. All right, and the last one is a heart. See, as you can see here, it's a heart. it is formed by the head, okay, the head, the shoulders, and arms of the person performing the CPR, signifying compassion for another individual. So you cannot just do this job without compassion. Remember, when you do this skill, you always have to remember that you want this person to live again and live a healthy life again. So you cannot just kneel down there in front of the person and just do whatever you have learned in your CPR, in your first aid training, but you kneel down there because you have that compassion to save the life of a dying person. All right. So again, the white person is the person who needs CPR, signifying no circulation. The red one is the person who is doing the CPR, which is alive with the blood circulation. The gold one signifies what? Speaks to the value of human life. So it is precious. It is even precious than gold. Our human life, the life of the human is even precious than gold. And of course, the heart that speaks about our compassion when we are performing this skill to a dying patient. And that's all for my presentation this evening. Thank you so much for listening. And I guess we still have time, Pastor.
Yes, we do. Thank you so much for that beautiful presentation. We have a few moments to, if any questions. There was one question in the comment section. Since we have to go to American Heart Association for the first requirement, without which we cannot qualify to complete the honor, please give us your opinion. You know, what is your comment on that?
All right. Yeah, I think you can find someone there who is a professional one to teach the skill. All right.
Yes.
Although when you go to American Heart Association or to the Red Cross, it comes with a price, especially for the American Heart Association. Our company here is taking this institution for us to train us, and it takes a certain amount to pay for
also
them. But
depending
what we are doing, yes, Pastor.
Also, depending in which country you live in,
yes.
You know, you would need to find out what is the equivalent for the Heart Organization or Red Cross, and you need to know in some churches and some conferences there is actually the conference actually provide this training as well. So you know, have a look, do a little bit of digging, and I'm sure you'll find out.
Excellent. And even what we have done here in the past, even we have just done our first aid training here. What our Goldfield has done with our MITs, Master Guide in Training, is they provided the training with a minimal amount to pay, and the rest of the amount was paid by the Goldfield. So we are so thankful for the Goldfield for providing us the training with a very minimal amount to pay for them. So I guess you can do like that also in your conference.
There was a question, somebody who was saying, that there is quite a few suggestions. Just make sure to read the comments where you can do this. And somebody asked, you know, does it have to be an American Red Cross, or it can be a professional doctor or teacher? We would say that it needs to be a professional accredited organization which can teach you this. Doctors probably know this, but we would like you to go for the organization that is actually accredited by the government to teach the CPR.
Exactly. Yeah. Because as soon as you finish the training course, you will receive a certificate, and that will give you the title of a certified first aid giver.